First main, subtract. Problem was 6453 minus 5302. The answer is 1151. Second problem, 3759 minus 2156 gives you a difference of 1603. Third problem, 3564 minus 1345. Here we had 4. We were supposed to do a subtraction of 4 minus 5, which is not possible. So we borrowed 1 from the previous place value. So it becomes 14. 14 minus 5 is 9. Now since it was 6 earlier, 6 becomes 5. 5 minus 4 is 1. We have not borrowed anything. The number doesn't change here. So 5 minus 3 is 2. And 3 minus 1 is 2. So the answer is 2219. Now fourth problem, 20,000 minus 8,625. Here at units place or ones place you have 0. So 0 cannot, you cannot subtract anything from 0. So you borrow 1 from the previous place value. It becomes 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. Now since we have borrowed 1 from tens place, it becomes 9. 9 minus 2 is 7. The same thing happens here. 9 minus 6 is 3. 9 minus 8 is 1. Since we have taken 1 from the 10,000s place, it has jumped from 10,000s place to thousands, thousands from 100, 100 to tens, then to ones. So because you have zeros in all the place values here, so 10,000s place had 2 earlier. Since we have taken 1, it becomes 1. We don't have anything to be subtracted here, so 1 minus 0 is what we need to assume it as. 1 minus 0 is 1. So the answer is 11,375. Fifth problem, 25,768 minus 4,304 gives you an answer 21,464. Sixth problem, 17,094 minus 3,043 gives you a difference answer of 14,051. I hope all of you are doing the problems correctly. All of you have got the answers correct. If not, make the necessary changes then and there itself. Have the video paused and make the corrections in your notebook, children. Now going on to the next problem, seventh problem is 42,695 minus 20,746. Here 5, you cannot subtract from 5 because 5 is less than 6. So when we borrow, it becomes 15. So 15 minus 6 is 9. Now since we have borrowed 1 from 9, it becomes 8. 8 minus 4 is 4. Then now here again 6 is less than 7, so we need to borrow 1 from the thousands place. This becomes 16 minus 7 is 9. Okay, then Again here we have borrowed 1, so this becomes 1. 1 minus 0 is 1. We have not meddled with this 10,000s place, so 4 remains the same. 4 minus 2 is 2. Going on to the next problem. 25,307 minus 6,419 was the problem given. 7 is less than 9, so I borrow 1. So this becomes 17 minus 9 is 8. Then here it was 0, so I have borrowed from the previous one and 1 taken out. So this becomes 10 first. Then when I take 1 again from 10 becomes 9. 9 minus 1 is 8. Then this was 3. I have taken 1 from here. So it becomes 2. 2 is again less than 4, so I borrow 1. It becomes 12. 12 minus 4 is 8. Now 5, from 5 I have taken 1, so it becomes 4. 4 is again less than 6, so I borrow 1 to make it 14. 14 minus 6 is 8. Now here it was 2 earlier. Now since I have taken 1, it becomes 1. 1 minus 0 is 1. So the final answer is 18,888. Now, moving on to the next concept, verification in subtraction. Children, after completing a problem in subtraction, you need to verify whether your problem is correct or not. Then how do you check, or how do you verify? In subtraction, what we do is subtraction can be verified by adding the difference obtained and the subtrahend. It should be equal to minuend. So we have three terms used in subtraction problem: the minuend, subtrahend, and the final answer being got, which is named as difference. So subtraction, after doing subtraction, you can verify it by adding the difference what you have got and the subtrahend, which is already given. So the final answer, when you add both of them, the difference and subtrahend, you need to get minuend. That is how you verify. Okay, we'll just learn about this, or uh, practice by through a few problems now. Now, what are the steps that we follow? For example, if the problem given is subtract 26,235 from 39,637. So for solution here, what are the terms that we have got, which is given? Here 26,235 is the subtrahend and 39,637 is minuend. Children, please remember, we have done this in our previous sessions. The bigger the number, the larger the number is named as minuend, and lesser number than the other number is subtrahend. So usually we subtract subtrahend from minuend. You always have to take the bigger number first and then subtract the smaller number from the bigger number. Now here the first number what we have got, 26,235 is subtrahend and 39,637 is minuend. Now we write one below the other. First row will have the minuend, the bigger number, and below that we have to write 26,235, which is the subtrahend. We need to write it in the second row according to the place value of the digits. Now we have to subtract each place values, we have to subtract. Then finally verification, we have to add. Add what? Addition of the difference and the subtrahend will have to give you minuend. So we'll just work out the same problem in digits. Okay. So the problem is subtract 26,235 from 39,637. We'll have it placed in a place value chart, have all the digits written under their particular place values, then start subtracting. Now, starting from ones place or units place, 7 minus 5 is 2, 3 minus 3 is 0, 6 minus 2 is 4, 9 minus 6 is 3, and 3 minus 2 is 1. Now, after completing this, what is the guarantee that whatever I have calculated, that is 13,402 is the difference here. So what is the guarantee that this is right or this is correct? The answer what I've got is correct. Now to check or to verify, what we need to add is, we need to add this 26,235, which is the subtrahend, and the difference 13,402. So I have placed the same numbers in the place value chart so that it is easier for you to calculate. It's always better you also write the same way. So now I add 5 plus 2 is 7, 3 plus 0 is 3, 2 plus 4 is 6, then 6 plus 3 is 9, 2 plus 1 is 3. Now children, if you observe the answer what I've got here, 39,637 happens to be the minuend what we have got earlier. Correct? We have started with minuend. So the answer, if the answer what I have got is the same as minuend, then whatever I have solved is right. You can also check it the same way. I hope all of you have understood, children. We'll move on to the next problem. The difference between 75,389 and 32,174. You need to calculate the difference between these two numbers. Here 75,389 is minuend, 32,174 is the subtrahend. Place it in the place value chart and start subtracting. 9 minus 4 is 5, 8 minus 7 is 1, 3 minus 1 is 2, 5 minus 2 is 3, 7 minus 3 is 4. Now to verify whether this answer 43,215 is right, I need to add both of these, the difference and the subtrahend. So verification, again I place them in the place value chart. Now I write the difference here, 43,215 plus 32,174 should give me the minuend. Now what I have got is 5 plus 4 is 9, 1 plus 7 is 8, 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 plus 2 is 5, 4 plus 3 is 7. So what is the answer that I've got? 75,389. Check with the minuend what I have got, 75,389. Both are same. So the problem is correct. Will you all do another problem along with me, children? Yes. Now moving on to the third problem. Subtract 16,486 from 26,475. Children, observe the problem properly. It is 16,486 from 26,475. So 26,475 happens to be the minuend and 16,486 happens to be the subtrahend. Now we'll have to place it in a place value chart and then start subtracting. You do it in your notebook. I have also done it here. You can cross verify whether you've done it right or not. Now since 5 is less than 6, I have borrowed 1 from the previous place value and make it, it becomes 15. 15 minus 6 is 9. Now 7 becomes 6 after after it is 1 is borrowed from that place. So 16 minus 8, 6 is less than 8, so I have to borrow 1 again from the hundreds place. 16 minus 8 becomes 8. 4 becomes 3. 3 is less than 4 again. 1 being borrowed. 13 minus 4 is 9. 6 becomes 5. 5 is less than 6. So 1 borrowed again. 15 minus 6 becomes 9. And 2, it was earlier 2, now it is 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. So the answer is 9989. We don't consider 0 before any number. It doesn't have any place value there. Okay, 9989 is the final answer. We'll verify whether it is right or wrong. Now to verify, we'll have to add the subtrahend and the difference. Once again, I place it in the place value chart. The subtrahend is 16,486 and the difference is 9,989. When I add, 6 plus 9 is 15, 5 here, 1 carried to tens place. 8 plus 8 is 16 plus 1 17, 7 down below, 1 carried to hundreds place. 1 plus 4 plus 9 is 14. 4 here and 1 carried to thousands place. So 1 plus 6 plus 9 is 16. 6 here and 1 carried. 1 plus 1 is 2. So I get the sum as 26,475. So this has to be equal to the minimum what I have taken. So it is similar. It is the same value, correct? So the problem is right. Now for the next problem, the difference between 57,394 and 26,765. Here the bigger number is 57,394, so this becomes minuend, and 26,765 becomes the subtrahend. So we place it in the place value chart. Now since 4 is less than 5, I borrow 1, it becomes 14, minus 5 is 9. Then 9 becomes 8. 8 minus 6 can happen, so it is 2. Now here again 3 is less than 7, so I have to borrow 1. Becomes 13. 13 minus 7 is 6. Now 7 becomes 6. 6 minus 6 is 0. Now 5 doesn't change. 5 minus 2 is 3. Now for the verification. Verification, we need to add the difference and the subtrahend. I have arranged it in the place value chart. Now 9 plus 5 is 14. So 4 below and 1 gets carried over. 6 plus 2 plus 1 is 9. 6 plus 7 is 13. 3 here and 1 carried. 6 plus 1 is 7. 3 plus 2 is 5. So 57,394 happens to be the minuend in the given problem. Hence verified. I hope all of you have understood this, children. Now the problem: subtract 24,683 from 40,000. We'll have to solve the same way. We have placed it in a place value chart, 40,000 and 24,683. Now to start off, 0 in the ones place becomes 10 when I borrow 1. 10 minus 3 is 7. Then here becomes 9 since I've borrowed 1. 9 minus 8 is equal to 1. Again this also becomes 9 as I have borrowed 1. 9 minus 6 is 3. 9 minus 4 is 5 similarly. Then 4 becomes 3 as we have taken 1 from 10,000's place till 1's place because all are zeros here. So 3 minus 2 is 1. Now for the verification, the answer what I have got, the difference what I have got, 15,317 is to be added along with 24,683. So while adding, 7 plus 3 is equal to 10. 0 here, 1 carried to the tens place. 1 plus 8 plus 1 is again 10. 1 carried to the hundreds place. 1 plus 6 plus 3 is 10 again. 1 carried to thousands place. 1 plus 4 plus 5 is 10 again. 0 at the bottom and 1 carried to 10,000 place. Here 1 plus 2 plus 1 becomes 4. So 40,000 is what we have got as the sum, which happens to be our minuend. So our problem is verified. Now let us play with numbers, or let us have few problems which are fun filled, tricky and brainstorming. Now this is a problem of subtraction, children. You are given a place value chart and numbers filled in it, and there are blank spaces there. If you can see, there are blank colored spaces. You need to fill them so that you get the answer right. The answer here is, the difference here is 623. So there's a number here 84-9 and another number dash dash 16. So you need to fill these numbers so that you get the answers right. Now how do you solve this? This is a very simple way of solving it. Don't get panicked. It's very simple. We'll have to do it step by step. Now having the same problem and the chart here, but the blank spaces are gone because we need to fill them. Now the first one, we need to start from one's place. 9 minus 6 is 3. This is a known thing, correct? No problem there. Now I have to have a number which has to give me 2 if I subtract 1 from this number. So the actual equation is, the dash is this number, minus 1 is equal to 2. A simple way is, you just add these two numbers. The number what you get here is the answer what you get is the number what you need to fill here. Now 2 plus 1 is 3. So just check. 3 minus 1 is 2. So the answer is supposed to be 3 minus 1, which is equal to 2. I fill 3 here. Isn't it tricky, children? It is not difficult, but just a slight tricky manner to solve this, correct? So 3 minus 1 is 2. Now we move on to the next place value. I have 4 here, but I don't know what I need to subtract from 4, but I know the answer. It has to be 6. See, very simple technique is, 4 is less than 6. So I have to have a number which is more than 4 so that I get the difference of that number and another number and get 6. Correct? Now, this is just 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, but I have to have a more number. So if I borrow 1, I can get 14. Okay, so assuming that to be a borrowed number, I take it as 14. So 14 is greater than 6. So I can subtract any number to get 6 there. Correct? Now, 14 minus what becomes 6? Or 14 minus 6 is the answer. Whatever you get is the number which you have to fill it here. So 14 minus 6 is 8. So if I have 8 put here, I get the answer 6. Understood, children? It is all interchangeably solved. Now, since I have taken 1 from here, it doesn't remain as 8. It is 7. So 7 minus something should give me a 0 because the answer is only 623. This place is 0. So what gives me 7 minus what is the 0? 7 minus 7 is 0. Correct? So I got the answer as 8439 minus 7816 gives me a difference as 623. Now we'll solve another problem of a similar type. This is 5-digit number, but we have blanks in 5 places that needs to be filled so that you get the answer 16,773. Now, how do we solve this? The similar manner, we'll have the same problem with all the blanks removed here. Now, I have the first equation as dash minus 8 is equal to 3. As I said, we can add these two and find the answer for this. So 8 plus 3 is 11. So the blank what needs to be filled is with 11. So when we have 11 here, I cannot have 11 in one's place. So I assume it to be borrowed. So I have 1 placed here, and assuming that 1 is borrowed from the tens place, I make it as 11. 11 minus 8 is 3. Okay, this column is done. Now I have 5 here, but I tell you, I have assumed that 1 is being borrowed here. So this number becomes 4. So 4 minus 7 is not possible, correct? So it's not legal. So 4 minus 7 is not possible. So what I do is I have to borrow 1 from the previous place value. So when I borrow, it becomes 14. 14 minus 7 is 7, correct? Now this is also done. When I have told you that I have borrowed 1 from here. So whatever number is placed here, that will be 1 more than what we need to borrow. Okay, now as I said, for the first column we had added 8 plus 3. Similar to that, we can add 7 plus 3 and make it as, the answer what we get is 13. But again the same problem, I can't have 13 placed here. So see, 13 minus 6 is 7. So instead of placing 13 here, I'll have to place it here because I have borrowed, and that becomes 13 later on. But there is a number, some number here from which I have borrowed 1 already. So it has to be this 1's place plus 1, correct? So this has to be 4. So 4 minus 6 cannot be calculated. So I make it as, when it has become 3 since I have borrowed 1. So from there 3 is less than 6. So I borrow 1 from the thousands place, that becomes 13. 13 minus 6 is 7. Now again here 9 has become 8. 8 minus something here with the number which is to be here gives you 6. So what is that number? Yes, 8 minus 2 is equal to 6. Now for the next number, 1 minus something happens to be 1. This something is 0 because 1 minus 0 is 1. So the final answer is 16,773 if we have two numbers here, 19,451 and 2,678. I hope all of you understood, children. We'll just take a few assignments for 4 problems in each type. Copy it down and write it in your notebook. Solve them before the next session. Okay, now hoping that you have understood the problems what we have already solved, we'll move verbal problems in subtraction. Verbal problems in subtraction. See, verbal problems in subtraction is similar to the verbal problems in addition. The only difference being the fundamental operation that we use here. Verbal math problems, also known as word problems, present examples of situations which help us to understand the concepts in a better manner and apply our knowledge of mathematical operations and solve them. Now, instead of going in detail about the steps, I hope you have all understood when we dealt with these verbal problem steps in addition. It is very much similar to that. We'll directly move on to few practice problems so that you understand through these problems itself. A factory manufactured 8,534 boxes. Out of them, 5,421 boxes were sold out. Find the remaining number of boxes. Children, remember we need to segment the whole problem. Here we have understood that there is some quantity of boxes being manufactured, and out of them some are sold. So we are supposed to find the remaining number of boxes. This remaining number of boxes will have to be found by subtracting the number of boxes sold from the total number of boxes manufactured. So starting with the solution, the number of boxes manufactured is 8,534. The number of boxes sold is 5,421. Now subtracting both of them, we get the remaining number of boxes. Now here 4 minus 1 is 3. Then 3 minus 2 is 1. 5 minus 4 is 1. 8 minus 5 is 3. So the remaining number of boxes are 3,113. I hope all of you understood, children. We'll work out few more problems for better understanding. The second problem. What should be added to 37,946 to get 91,643? Children, understand the problem here properly. There is this some number should be added to get this 91,643 along with 37,946. So solution, the final answer obtained is how much? This number, correct? So 90 will have the place value chart written so that it's easier for you to calculate. 91,643. Now we know one of the numbers, correct? So one of the numbers is 37,946. Okay, we have placed all the digits in their place values. Now we have to find the other number. Therefore, the other number is equal to, we'll start subtracting. Since 3 is less than 6, you cannot subtract it directly. So we'll have to borrow 1. So this becomes 13. 13 minus 6 is 7. Next is 4. 4, since I have borrowed 1, becomes 3. Again, I'll have to borrow 1 from the hundreds place because 3 is less than 4. So 13 minus 4 is 9. Here, since I borrowed 1, this becomes 5. 5 is less than 9. So I borrow 1 again, make it 15. 15 minus 9 is 6. Now here it was 1 and I have borrowed 1. So it becomes 0. So 0 minus 7 cannot be possible. So what I do? I borrow 1 again from the previous, in the thousands place, sorry, 10,000s place. I make it as 10. 10 minus 7 is 3. Now 9, since I borrowed 1, it becomes 8. 8 minus 3 is 5. So the final answer is 53,697. See, if you want to verify, you can verify whether the answer what you have got is right or wrong by adding 53,697 plus 37,946. So you need to get the answer as 91,643. I hope all of you understood, children. Shall we move on? Yes. Now a similar problem to what we did right now in the second one. What should be subtracted from 67,215 to get 28,941? For the solution, the given minuend, see here there's a bigger number here. So the minuend is given. We'll arrange it in the place value chart. It's 67,250. Now we have been given the difference also. So the given difference is 28,941. Now if I find the difference, I'll have to get the subtrahend. So subtracting 5 minus 1 is 4. 1 minus 4 is not possible. So I borrow 1 from hundreds place, make it 11. 11 minus 4 is 7. 2 becomes 1. So 1 is less than 9. I cannot subtract. So again I borrow 1 and make it 11. 11 minus 9 is 2. Then since I've borrowed 1, this also becomes 6. 6 is less than 8. So I borrow 1 again, make it 16. 16 minus 8 is 8. Here 1 is borrowed, so it becomes 5. But 5 is greater than 2. So 5 minus 2 is 3. So the subtrahend is the answer what we have got. Now moving on to fourth problem. A farmer yielded 38,462 coconuts from his field last year. This year he yielded 47,285 coconuts. Find how many more coconuts he yielded this year. So for the solution, number of coconuts yielded this year. We'll have the place value chart written and fill in all the digits. 47,285 is the number. Then the second statement, number of coconuts yielded last year, 38,462. Now if we take the difference, we will get the difference in the yield. So 5 minus 2 is in ones place. We'll start taking the difference, subtracting from the right hand side. 5 minus 2 is 3. 8 minus 6 is 2. Now 2 is less than 4 here, so I borrow 1, becomes 12. 12 minus 4 is 8. Now I have borrowed 1 from here, so this becomes 6, but 6 is again less than 8. I borrow 1 more from 10,000's place, so becomes 16. 16 minus 8 is 8. Here it was 4 earlier. Now since I have borrowed 1, it becomes 3. 3 minus 3 is 0. So the final difference in the yield is 8,823. Now children, to try to solve this next problem, the total number of students of standard 5 in all the schools of a taluk is 5,728. If the number of girls is 3,572, find the number of boys in the schools. So we have got, for the solution, we've got the number of 5th standard students, the total number of 5th standard students 5728. Then the number of girls in 5th standard 3,572. So to find the number of boys in 5th standard, start subtracting. 8 minus 2 is 6. Then here 2 is less than 7, so I borrow 1 from the previous hundreds place, makes it 12. 12 minus 7 is 5. Then it was 7 earlier, now it has become 6. Since I've borrowed 1, 6 minus 5 is 1. Now I have not done anything to this place value. 5 minus 3 is 2. So 2,156 are the number of boys in 5th standard. Now we have solved few problem statement problems, and I expect you to solve this assignment also. It is of very similar to what we have already dealt with or solved. These are 4 statement problems or verbal problems or word problems which you need to try at home in your notebook. Children, all these video lessons, the important points, the problems solved and the assignments given, all are